Welcome back to part 6 of my Rose Bowl analysis. And today I'm continuing that thing that fascinated me, which was Alabama's second half change that was producing success, but they didn't quite capitalize on. And now I'm going to show you the drive that occurred after they scored their only touchdown in the second half and then got Michigan off of the field and got the ball back. And they had a opportunity that they missed because they didn't take advantage of that sequence where they had the momentum. I'm going to show you what Michigan did to overcome that as well, but let's hop right into those plays. So immediately after that touchdown, Alabama's up 17-13. It's 13 minutes and 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter, so it's 2nd and 9 here. Michigan comes out in 13 personnel here, one running back and 3 tight ends, it seems, or at least maybe a lineman who might be playing in a tight end's position. Because as you can see, they have both of the tight ends that we normally know, number 44 and 18, which is Loveland. They're both behind the tackles in kind of like an H-back position, whereas Blake Corum, who's the one running back, is kind of like in a single back formation behind J.J. McCarthy under the center. But they also have number 50, it looks like. I can't quite see his number here on the far left side. And if you notice that 6 people on the line of scrimmage, they all look like linemen. So number 50 is kind of like in a tight end like position here. And you got the only wide receiver at the top of the screen being covered up by Terrion Arnold. And so Alabama is matching this heavy formation with the heavy package of their own. They got about 6 people lined up on the line of scrimmage to match. Plus they got their linebackers and Kool-Aid McKinstry up as well. And so Michigan is going to do a little play action here. They're going to run the tight end and the wide receiver number 6 up the field, and they're going to have the running back Blake Corum leak out the backfield. But Alabama's getting some pressure. Number 60 is kind of letting his guy kind of get up the field, but he's keeping him away from J.J. McCarthy. This play basically goes nowhere. Like, J.J. McCarthy tries to step up in the pocket to hit the tight end, but he actually gets hit by Alabama's pass rusher 92, which is Justin Eboigbe, and I think that impacted this play because if J.J. McCarthy had a clean throw here, he probably would have been able to get this ball toward the outside because I think he was aiming for the tight end, number 18, Loveland here, who's coming on like basically a deep, I guess you can say like an out route. Maybe he went in and out on the play. It's hard to say because we don't see where he is up the field, but he started out going up the field, as you can see in the beginning of the play. So really just kind of like a deeper out route, but it doesn't get that. That's a longer developing play. Michigan's probably expecting to get some more pass protection, but Alabama's Justin Eboigbe beats the tight end because it's like the offensive line shifted over to the right and the tight end had to block the end. The end goes right through that tight end's block for an easy pass rush for the affecting the quarterback. Really good play by Alabama on 2nd and 9. So like I said, Alabama has the momentum. They got the stop on the Michigan run on the first down. They affect the quarterback here to force a 3rd and 9 coming up on the next play, and this is after that drive in which they scored a touchdown. Alabama was feeling it on this play, on this drive. And so then Michigan comes back on the next play, 3rd and 9, 13 minutes and 46 seconds left. Okay, they realize we're in a deeper 3rd down situation. We need to get our wide receivers on the field, so they've now switched to 11 personnel, 1 running back, which is now Donovan Edwards, set to the left of J.J. McCarthy, and they have 1 tight end who is kind of in the middle of the 3 people out wide at the top of the screen, but their 3 wide receivers, of course, are number 6, and they have Roman Wilson, and they have actually I thought it was number 6 at the top. Number 6 is actually at the bottom, so whoever's in motion, number 8 is at the top, so he's motioning in. Alabama, of course, is going to match this with nickel personnel because what else would you match 3 receivers with? And Michigan's going to have J.J. McCarthy just drop back in regular shotgun formation. Donovan Edwards leaking out the backfield. They got number 8 coming across on the drag route. But as you can see, now there's 2 things happening here. Well, there's more than that, but I'll just highlight the 2 things that immediately pop out. Is one, obviously Donovan Edwards drops the pass, but he wasn't going anywhere even if he caught it. But Alabama's pass rushers, so Alabama rushed 4, they dropped 7 into coverage here, so they have the advantage in terms of numbers and secondary on the receivers. But the pass rush is pretty strong, so the right tackle is getting beat by, is that Braswell? Oh, yep, Braswell. And then you have Dallas Turner, number 15 on the left tackle. He kind of plays it a bit slower, but he beats the left tackle as well with a nice move to kind of swim and knock down the hands of 73. It's a really good pass rushing move to get around. So both Braswell and Dallas Turner beat their tackles on this play to kind of force JJ. He can't quite step up or like move up and run out to the side. He has to step back and run out to the side, because while this is going on, you also see that Justin Igboebe, he kind of loops around. He kind of does his own twist here. So Alabama didn't quite do like a stunt and twist, kind of like a lot of what Michigan was doing early in the game. But you do see that Braswell beats the tackle kind of a little bit in. He kind of starts to move inside a bit with power as he started out up the field, and this kind of creates a late twist, I guess you could say, because usually on the stunt and twist, immediately the inside defensive player would crash down on like the guard in the center, and then the other inside rusher would then loop around that, twist around that to go to the outside. What happened on this play is that Braswell rushes kind of upfield a little bit on the right tackle, then engages him with power and kind of pushes inside. Then Justin Igboebe, who slow played his rush, instead of continuing to rush up the middle to also try to get at McCarthy, they kind of figured that McCarthy would roll out to the right. Igboebe then twists around Braswell to then force JJ McCarthy to try to get rid of this ball. Donovan Edwards just drops it. Like, the ball just falls right out of his hand. Good defensive stand by Alabama. But even if Donovan Edwards didn't drop this ball, like I was saying, Terry Arnold's right there. He's a sure tackler. Caleb Downs is running up, and number 9, Trey Amos, is also in the area. So it was a really good defensive sequence from Alabama here after they had just scored their touchdown to go up 17-13. So now we move on to Alabama getting the ball on their next possession after Michigan had to punt it away. So we move into a 1st and 10 play for Alabama, 13 minutes and 13 seconds. Alabama fans are going to remember this sequence because of what happens on the play after this one, but Alabama starts off with a little motion. I know some Alabama fans were criticizing Tommy Rees for some of the play calling or not doing enough of this in the first half, which I could say he didn't do enough of this in the first half for sure, but he brought it out here. But you're going to have a lot of motion on this play. You're going to have Alabama in basically, this is 11 personnel here. They got 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, and 1 tight end. The running back is set to the right of Jalen Milroe. They got, I think, Amari Nyblack motioning, kind of running like a wheel up the field. And they have Corey Prentice, who started out kind of like in a slot or like near the left tackle, is motioning across the field. So Alabama, I think this is sort of like an RPO type situation, or just the ability to run or pass here, basically, depending on how number 55, the guy who they left unblocked, plays the edge here. And so when Jalen Milroe then fakes that run to Justice Haynes, he then pulls it out, and 55, instead of playing Prentice, he plays Jalen Milroe. And here's the thing what I like, because a lot of people who aren't watching closely or maybe have their mind made up already will say that Jalen Milroe doesn't read the situation or doesn't know how to address the play once it's snapped, or all these other type of things where like I would say they're just bad narratives, because he does do these things. He may not do them consistently right every time, but he knows how to read the defense. He knows where things are coming from, because a quarterback who doesn't know how to read or who can't make the right decision here will still try to run this ball, even though number 55 is playing him on a option play, a run pass option play. You let the defender basically dictate which play you take. And here, Jalen Milroe immediately notices that number 55 is rushing toward him, so Jalen drops it off to Kobe Prentice. Prentice then takes this ball, scoots up the field for a 1st down. The safety, Rod Moore, can't get to him in time to stop this play. So this was a really good decision and play by Jalen Milroe. Good motion and use of the wide receiver and moving around by Tommy Rees on the play call. This was continuing Alabama's success. So Alabama had ran the ball very well on the last drive. And as you notice, look at Michigan on the line of scrimmage. They got the linebacker coming up. They got 3 people down. They got the other linebacker inching up as well. And they got one of the secondary members, I think that's the safety, sitting in the middle of the box. So basically they got 6 people up on the line of scrimmage. Alabama's like, okay, let's just throw this ball out to the flat, beat the other 5 people in the secondary who were kind of playing further back, because we ran those guys off by having Nyblack and Burton and Isaiah Bond run up the field. We now have Prentice underneath who can go ahead and get this 1st down. Really good play design, good play, and I think Alabama was getting ready to continue doing more things like this, as you'll see on the next play which ended up kind of being a tragedy for Alabama. And it kind of, Michigan did a great thing here by ruining how this play worked out. So it's 12 minutes and 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter. It's 1st and 10. And Alabama's going to do another option play here to the outside. Because remember, Alabama had success running the ball on Michigan basically most of the second half, but they really put it on the head when they scored that touchdown that last drive. Michigan has 5 people on the line of scrimmage. Both of the linebackers are up watching the backfield. Alabama is running a 2-back set. And this 2-back set is doing a really good thing for them. They have Jam Miller and they have Justice Haynes on the field. So Justice Haynes is set left to Milroe. Alabama is in a basically 21 personnel here. 2 running backs, 1 tight end, 2 wide receivers, 1 at the top of the screen, 1 at the bottom. But Alabama's play here is either Jalen Milroe runs or he flips the ball off to Jam Miller, or obviously he can hand it off to Justice Haynes. But that obviously is not the play that you're doing here because the defenders crash down. Look at how many Michigan defenders are up on the line of scrimmage coming down on Jalen Milroe because they're expecting to run. So it's 1, 2, 3, 7. There's 7 Michigan defenders who are in the box, who are trying to play Jalen Milroe, who are trying to not just play Jalen Milroe, they're trying to stop the run because Alabama had been running the ball so well on Michigan this whole second half, and they really just didn't capitalize on it. And on this play, they almost had Jalen Milroe in the backfield. Sans the safety here, 0, he kind of moves up. Jalen Milroe escapes that. Now, this is where things get tricky because you see Jam Miller, who's out in the flats. He's running up the field. So Jalen Milroe has the option to throw the swing out to him, or he has the option to run. Jalen Milroe decides to run here. Now, I think Jalen could have thrown this ball to Jam Miller. Kind of like pitched it back a little bit or thrown a swing up the field and let him get some yards that way. Jalen, knowing his talent, figure I can make this guy miss and I can keep going, which in theory, that is even a safer play. You're going to keep the ball on the ground. You are talented and athletic enough to run past Michigan. You can do it. We saw you do it before. You've escaped some plays. Michigan is a very fundamentally sound tackling team, though. And you're going to see that come together here as the Michigan guy forces this turnover. And it's not just that, because I think if Jalen Milroe hadn't slipped here, and this is why I mentioned it, and some other people were saying that the Rose Bowl field wasn't weird. It was a bit weird. They were slipping. Michigan and Alabama players were slipping. Jalen Milroe slipped on this play too. I mean, if you just look at it, he loses footing as he kind of cuts inside as he's trying to make the Michigan linebacker commit to the inside. He was going to basically jab step right and then cut back to the outside to run left up the field. I'm pretty sure that's what he was going to do. But as he tries to cut back to the outside, he loses his footing. He stumbles forward, and now the Michigan defender, number 28, lunges forward. Because like I said, Michigan is a really good, fundamentally sound tackling defense, and they just made tackle after tackle after tackle. You can't just break these guys. And what this Michigan defender does, when he reaches out to tackle, he gets a hand on the football, and he pulls it out. I don't even know how conscious it was that he did it this way, but the way that he tackled, he went lower. He got wrapped both arms around the hips of Jalen Milroe, and he just really attacked Jalen Milroe in the ball. Got the leg, put a hand on the ball. Really good tackling by the Michigan defense, by number 28, who honestly, Michigan fans, I would love to know what you think. He probably single-handedly ruined Alabama's offensive momentum of the second half here. Because if Alabama was going to continue to do plays like this, because look at what Jam Miller is doing. Jam Miller is open over there in the corner. And that's not to say that Jalen Milroe had to pitch the ball. I don't want the takeaway from this play to be Jalen Milroe should have only pitched the ball. I think him running actually was not a bad decision on this play. Running or passing here was open. He could have made that defender miss. The issue is that he slipped. But what I really want to point out, though, is that this offensive scheme was working. Michigan had 7 people in the box trying to stop Alabama from running the ball. I think a lot of people mistakenly think that they were doing that only for Jalen Milroe. They couldn't stop the run in general in the second half for a good bit, and this was their response to it. It's unfortunate for Alabama that then on this play, Jalen slips and gets the ball stripped from him as he is trying to recover on the run. And now, like I said before, I think he could have flipped that out to Jam Miller, and Jam Miller probably would have got about, at least 5-6 yards here, maybe even more. Probably could have made a guy miss as well. That's neither here nor there though, because the play ends at this point. But I did want to highlight that, yeah, he 100% could have put that ball out to Jam Miller, but he made his decision to run. And I'm never one to blame a player for trying to make a play on a play. It's not like I got to keep harping on this because I know so many people will make it about whether or not he made a right or wrong decision, or try to put a lot of undue blame on him. When on this play, you can make a decision. In Jalen Milroe, he had two right decisions: keep the ball and use your athleticism, or flip the ball out to Jam Miller and let him use his athleticism. He decided to trust his on this particular play, because a lot of people will then take this to say that he won't do this, he won't do it at all, or he refuses to. But clearly on the last play that I showed you, he flipped the ball out to Kobe Prentice instead of trusting himself. So it's just that on this particular play, he made this decision, and it ended up turning out really bad for Alabama. But that Michigan defense, that soundness, that tackle, that really ruined Alabama's offensive momentum, because then Michigan, I don't think they scored on the next drive, but Alabama, on their last points they got in the game, was on a drive after that one where they got the field goal, where they made some mistakes midway through the drive with the illegal substitution. They tried to pass the ball more directly and got sacked, and they had to settle. And at that point, Michigan then was able to get that four-minute drive going where they're able to score the touchdown and tie the game. But this was really a big turning point in the game, and I thought it was very interesting. And this really fascinated me. Not necessarily trying to make a point of Alabama should have won the game, or that Michigan got lucky to win or anything, but more so I just really like analyzing this because I found this very, very interesting. So let me know what you think as well. But thank you for watching. I will see you next time.